call the meeting to order. On behalf of the Planning Commission, I'd like to welcome our residents and viewers to this regular meeting of October 11th, 2022. On tonight's agenda, we just have one discussion item, but it's an important one. Before we get into that discussion item, we have one housekeeping item. That would be the minutes from our regular meeting of September 13th, 2022. Are there any additions or corrections to those minutes? If not, is there a motion?
Motion.
I have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and second to approve the minutes. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Minutes are approved. Thank you. All right, we'll get into our discussion item. This is a site plan for an addition. Aerospace Fabrication. Their address is 5147 208th Street West, and they're located in our industrial park.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, Commission members. Yes, before you this evening is a site plan for a building addition at Aerospace Fabrication. Just so if anybody's wondering what Aerospace Fabrication, what they do, they design, manufacture, and install multi-layer insulation blankets and passive thermal control parts for aerospace and cryogenic applications. So part of this expansion will obviously include that and expand their business operations at that location. As Chair Roddy had mentioned, the site location is 5147 208th Street West in our industrial park. They currently operate out of a 20,201 square foot building. The proposed addition, as shown in your packet and on the screen, includes calls for a 12,960 square foot addition on the north side of the existing building. Per code, the size of addition that they are requesting or proposing with this site plan does kick in the site plan approval process, which requires the Planning Commission to review the site plan as far as setbacks, height, pretty much anything that the zoning code applies to that is under your purview this evening with that per code. As I mentioned, the addition will expand the existing footprint to the north and will abut the western side of the northern parking lot. The addition is parallel to the existing building footprint, and will not decrease either the front or side yard setbacks. The addition will contain a large production space, stock room, shop, break room with bathrooms, a chamber room, and a storage room. On the north side of the site, so up in this general area here, that contains the stormwater facility for the site. There will need to be modifications to that stormwater pond as part of this development. Staff is currently working with them to make those modifications. As you'll see with one of the conditions of approval is that they address all of those engineering concerns, which include the stormwater modification prior to issuance of any kind of building permit. So, but they are working towards that end as we speak. The site is located within our I district, which is our industrial zoning district. The existing use, along with the addition, are considered light manufacturing and warehousing, which are both permitted uses in that zoning district. As I had mentioned previously, the proposed addition and the existing building meet all the setbacks that I've outlined in your memorandum. Additionally, as far as lot coverage, code does allow for a maximum 35%. With the proposed expansion, they will be at 22.5%, so well under that maximum limit. Additionally, the height maximum in the I district is 45 feet. This building is at 20 feet along with the addition, so again, well under that. As far as parking is concerned, manufacturing facilities require one parking space per 600 square feet of building space. With the addition that is being proposed, the total building square footage will be 33,161 square feet, requiring a minimum of 55 parking spaces. As you'll see, not only is there a building expansion here, but they are also proposing a parking lot expansion on the southern end of the site as well. So with that additional parking space, or parking addition, if you will, they will be up to 81 total spaces on the site. So again, they're well over that minimum that code does require. No access changes are being proposed with this site plan. The existing site access will be utilized as it is now. As far as landscaping is concerned, the applicant is proposing 6 trees. These are mainly focused around that new parking area. 4 trees will be along the landscape buffer of 208th Street and the parking lot. The remaining 2 trees will be on each end of the parking lot medians. In addition to the trees, the plan does show 28 shrubs, which will be planted along the landscape buffer and parking median as well. 3 trees are proposed to be removed to make way for the building addition towards the back of the lot. The proposed landscape plan does meet the code requirements as outlined. As far as architecture, city code does require in the I district that buildings be constructed of certain materials. That includes brick, stone, concrete, masonry block, or precast concrete. The proposed elevation plan shows the bulk of the exterior being precast concrete painted to match the existing building. And as shown in your elevation plan, that I have included in your packet, and I'll briefly show it here as well. Unfortunately, it's not in color, but it does give you an idea that it's just a continuation of what they have out there now, which is in accordance with code. The action that is requested this evening, city staff recommends approval of the site plan for the building addition to Aerospace Fabrication, located at 5147 208th Street West, contingent upon the following. Number 1, the applicant shall obtain all necessary building and fire permits that may be required for the building addition. And number 2, addressing all engineering comments prior to the issuance of building permits. So.
All right, thank you, Tony. Representing the applicant, Mr. Conley, do you have anything to add to the staff report?
Thank you for the opportunity. Nothing really, but when we planned the facility back in 2004, 2005, we had ideas behind the expansion to the north. So this is coming to fruition, I guess, to some degree, as far as a little more space to the north side of the building. And back when we originally programmed this, the idea was that maybe we could double that footprint size, but that didn't quite, that much space wasn't quite necessary. So I feel like this certainly fits in or within those parameters that we set up initially for the building and the site. So thank you.
Appreciate it. If you could stay available, there may be a question or two. We'll start with Commissioner Winchell.
Yeah, first, I think it's always good to see the expansion in the city. It's a positive, and welcome the expansion. With the expansion, is it going to bring on any new employees or new parts to the business at all, or is it just strictly just the expansion?
The expansion, so it's going to allow for a couple additional assembly rooms, clean rooms in the area for the manufacture of these. I call them blankets, but there's a more official term than that, right? But so I don't have specific numbers on the amount of employees that would be increased, but there should be a slight increase because we are looking to increase the capacity there of output.
Perfect. And then Tony, on that retention pond, do we have any idea what that's going to look like or what the proposed is?
They'll likely just have to make, dig out some additional square footage of the pond for additional volume, because when it was originally built back in 0405, there was a different model that was required at that time. Now we utilize what's called Atlas 14, which is a new model. And it typically, with older ponds, when you have redevelopment or new development on that site, they typically need to be increased to accommodate that additional rain volume.
Sure.
And that's what this will be. They'll just need to create some additional volume in that pond, essentially. So, and there's plenty of room on site to accommodate that. So,
All right.
shouldn't really be an issue at all.
Perfect. I was just curious. And then with the parking lot, is there gonna be additional lighting or anything with the extra spaces, or?
Currently have pole light on the very south end of that existing parking, so if we did anything, we'd put maybe another head on the south side. But with the street lighting out there and what we have currently, it's pretty well lit, so.
Perfect. Thank you. That's it.
Thank you. Commissioner Rato,
No questions, it looks good, thank you.
Commissioner McAbey.
I was going to ask about the pond too, but you answered all that, but I have no further questions.
Mr. Conley, I'm not sure if you're familiar with their operations. Are there any changes in hours of operation with this addition?
None planned.
None planned. Truck traffic and flow of truck traffic, can you just briefly explain that to us?
Sure. So trucks currently enter the site in a driveway that's on the east side of the building, and they pull northward and back to the, back up to the east side of the building. So that would continue as we add on. We're not necessarily adding more truck docks or truck spaces currently, but that would continue to work just the way it does now.
Okay.
I'd say the majority of their product that comes in and out is not of a large scale, so to speak. You know, it's not like they get semi-loads of product in and out. It's more the smaller van truck and or delivery vans, things like that.
Sure, okay. You know, and I agree with the rest of the commission. You know, it's great to see a business growing out in our industrial park. It's a nice industrial park, and I'm glad it's working well for this business. And I certainly have no issues with it, so. All right, Tony, any comments from staff on this?
No, sir, unless there's additional questions for me.
Any questions for staff? If not, one question, Mr. Conley, does your client agree to the conditions set forth by the staff report and our city engineers?
Yes, we do.
All right, thank you. With that, then I'd look for a motion, I would think for approval for the site plan for the building addition to Aerospace Fabrication located at the address we talked about with the two contingencies. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
We have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Motion and second. Any more discussion? If not, call the roll, please.
Winchidle.
Yes.
Roddy.
Yes.
Lado.
Yes.
McAbey.
Yes.
All right. Was there anything else from staff?
I have nothing, sir.
All right, and I'm gonna do this, and Tony, you correct me if I'm wrong, but our next meeting for our residents and viewers will be Wednesday, November 9th, right? 'Cause the
Correct,
election on
because of the
8th.
election. That is
Yeah.
correct.
Just for the commission, just so you're aware, don't show up here on election day. And so with that, I look for a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion is second to adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
This commission is adjourned. Thank you.